Hello. Good morning. Good morning. How are you on this gorgeous morning? I am so glad to be somewhere with good weather. You have no idea. Mpumalanga is sunny and warm and just absolutely glorious. And I've been absolutely spoiled with beautiful weather this week. I hope that it's been great for you where you have been. And this is our reading for the new moon in Virgo that is coming up this week on the 23rd of August. It's going to be an interesting one. How did the full moon treat you? I did warn that it would be intense, right? That there would be decisions that have to be made. How did that go for you? That Mercury retrograde tapering off right there at the end certainly had its way with me in my life. I don't want to lie. I will not pretend that I didn't feel that impact. It was a little rocky. Those Mars oppositions with the decisions that had to be made were so clear cut and uncompromising. I absolutely appreciated the understanding that looking ahead gave me. And I hope that for you, the readings that we did there also prepared you in some way to navigate those transits a little bit better. We're still under the influence of this beautiful Jupiter conjunction in Cancer. No, Makhosi with Venus. Oi. So, oi, Makhosi. We're still going to be seeing that beneficial energy, influencing our relationship spheres and just in terms of opportunity, maybe even making us a little bit more courageous. And that is really what we should be doing at this moment, using this transit to shoot our shots, take some chances, be courageous, go out there. The sun is still in Leo. You are still wanting to express outward, lean into that until at least say the end of this month. That influence is definitely still there. Makos, and still beneficial. This is Sangoma Society, where we demystify the astral and the ancestral. Mina Makhosi Nomabutho, and I am Uhani, tell a story on all social media platforms. I am Hani Magwagwa to my parents. And this is the new moon reading for the hopes on the horizons with this new moon in Virgo. Yo. Oh, of course. We're still very much in the retrograde season. As we know, there are multiple retrogrades currently ongoing, and there are many planets that retrograde throughout the year annually, especially our outer planets like Pluto, like Saturn. These planets, they retrograde in order to give us space and time to reflect on why and how we're moving through the world. So if you find yourself asking those questions at this time, don't be alarmed. It really is the season for that kind of work. Right. And here at Sangoma Society, we have been encouraging that during this retrograde season, look into looking inward. Yo! This week will be the beginning of our Answers from the Ancestors course. If you haven't signed up yet, I will put the link in the description below on the video for this reading on our YouTube channel, and you can sign up there. It's completely free. It just gives you 15 days of reflection and journaling to interrogate your own personal relationship with the ancestors, because often what we do is we come to this sort of thing, astrology, the ancestors, and our faith in general, when our will in the world isn't working the way that we expect it to. And that can color the understanding that we have of what these systems of spirituality are actually here to serve. And we don't actually stop to interrogate our context, our lived experience, the socialization that we've been subjected to, the political reality that we live under. We just go through the motions of trying to get a desired result. And that can be something that affects our spirituality and our relationship to ourselves and our agency in the long term. So, Answers from the Ancestors is really just a modality to help one interrogate those concepts, really figure out where it is that you're coming from when you come to this aspect of life, which is the ancestral. Whoa! And that, of course, will be beginning tomorrow. And it is now an email correspondence course. So all the emails will just be coming into your inbox. And then for the day you go home, you do your journaling according to the journal prompts. Now, in journaling in general, let me just say this: don't overthink it. You want the process of journaling to be one of discovery. Don't try to think of the right answer and inhibit yourself from actually discovering what your real thoughts are. Anytime you're overthinking, thinking for too long, wanting to find the right answer, just the right way to put something, then you need to understand that whatever it is that you're writing is not true. Okay? Because the truth doesn't need a filter. It's just going to be what it's going to be. So, whether you're doing the guided journaling through Answers from Our Ancestors, or you're journaling after a consultation, or you're just journaling for yourself in order to develop that relationship with yourself, keep that in mind. Don't overthink it. You don't have to have a right answer. You don't have to have a correct understanding when you do that kind of work. Just allow it to be what it needs to be. Now, coming back to this week, and yo, Makhosi. Ooh. Makhosi, Makhosi. And what we can expect. Now, this new moon in Virgo is going to be squaring Uranus in Gemini. Whenever we see a square, oi, of course, we see a situation where the planets are basically forming a square astrologically. They are, it's similar energy to an opposition. So there's a tension, there's something that it brings up into our consciousness that requires consideration. Now, we know Virgo speaks to the area of our lives that is work, speaks to the area of our lives that is an intellectual application to work. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so that mercurial energy, that pace, that speed, way of methodically addressing things is what Virgo represents. Right now, the South Node is still in Virgo. So again, the areas pertaining our foundations, the areas pertaining um, our understanding of belonging, citizenship. Uranus is in Gemini. It is the most revolutionary station for that planet. And Uranus is already a change maker in the sky. So when these two things are now in opposition to each other, we might start to see those questions about citizenship, belonging, what it is that governs that identity, right? And collectively, I think we're seeing those questions come up a lot around borders and around access to resources. Makhosi. And we know that when we see Uranus in Gemini, we can see war on the horizon. Now, when we look at this particular new moon, we know that a new moon is the time when you want to be sowing seeds, when you want to be setting intentions. This new moon is the start of eclipse season. Though we won't have an eclipse with this new moon, we will have an eclipse with the full moon that this new moon is going towards when it culminates in the sign of Pisces. And then next year, when we see the lunar eclipse in Virgo next March, that is going to be the outcomes of the seeds that are being planted with this new moon. So if for your life you have plans that you've had in mind and you haven't yet taken action, take action now. This is a really good time to do that. Again, reminding you that the influence of Jupiter conjunct Venus in Cancer is still playing out during the time that we see this new moon. So there is that hope, right? There is that possibility. So go ahead and plant your seeds and expect that when we see that eclipse season of 2026 with the astrological new year, that the fruit that comes from the efforts you are making right now will start to be showing itself. Do not be alarmed by the square that the new moon is forming with Uranus. It just means that there might be unexpected influences that begin to play out. Interestingly, in terms of the nature of African astrology, being that we look at communal influence, right? What I can definitely say, I've noticed in the past few days is the conversation around cessation and California happening in the Americas, and perhaps seeing a new American map emerge as the current president tries to impose martial law on the capital city. These actions that he is taking now, he might think that, people are simply going to accept it. But we'll see by March next year how exactly the citizens of that country react to it. And I think that all of this happening at this moment is also a possibility for a new global superstructure to begin to take place. And again, reminding you that, yo, yo, Makhosi, Makhosi, we are in a retrograde season that is overall going to be unveiling a completely new way of life. Things may seem to be one way at this moment in time, but I assure you, by the time we reach the end of January next year, it's going to be a completely different ecosystem that we're existing in. And that all began with the beginning of eclipse season at the end of July, there, where we really started to see these shifts happening. And if you've been waiting on making those decisions that were brought into your space, that confronted you over the course of the 8th and 9th of August of 2025, when Mars was opposing Neptune and Saturn. Mars in Libra does want to weigh its options before making a decision, but this moon being square Uranus right now, you might feel that pressure to settle on a decision now. If you've been delaying it, you're not going to be able to delay it all the way into Libra season. It's not going to happen. Like, you're going to start feeling the tumultuous nature of your indecision very soon. Now, whenever we see a planet like Uranus feeling a bit active, my encouragement is always to sit tight, do not out, watch, observe what shifts, and land where it is steady ground for you. Like, give yourself the opportunity to make your observations before taking a step. We're quite the way through August already, which here in Southern Africa is isikhathi sethu sokuzinza, our time to make our observations and considerations. It is getting to that point where we're about to enter spring, uhlobo, when we will now re-emerge as the sun itself re-emerges. And we must do so knowing where we stand, because we are slowly approaching the African New Year with the upcoming equinox. And there is no room for indecision at such a time. So, again, if you need it, take this time to make your considerations, but understand that decisions need to be made. Okay? You cannot sit and wait forever. If you've been doing the work during this month, as it has been encouraged, then you should really be getting to a place of clarity and certainty with what it is that you're doing. Eclipse season is always a time when we feel upheaval, is always a time when we feel the momentum of life itself carrying us into that next chapter. Do not move in opposition to life. Do not try to reverse things or slow things down. Let things be what they are. And the reality is that the time to move is approaching, and you must have your decisions made. If you're struggling to do that, there are still 6 weeks to go before the African New Year, and that's 6 weeks enough to make it through the work of pivoting into purpose. Again, I will put the link to sign up to that in the description box of this video on YouTube. And for me, I've been doing that work since the solstice, preparing to meet the Lion's Gate in that clarity. And I am glad to say that the purpose was served. Okay, we have clarity. We have clarity, and I am definitely looking forward to the chapters that are on the horizon for us. If you have been enrolled to any of our programs with the Sangoma Society School, you will know that um, there are some changes that have been underway, and we hope to be finalizing those changes over the course of the next month. And we hope that you enjoy the shifts and you enjoy the ways in which we're working to make the school a safer space for you to be able to open up about your experiences and share in this journey with the community that we have. This moment feels fated, and it is. It really is. You know, whenever there are people who are winning in a big way, there are people who might be losing in a big way. Do not be amongst those who are losing in big ways because they are acting impulsively at this time. The square with Uranus, it is a thing that can bring about shocking revelations. There can be more accidents, the sense of twists of fate, things that are beyond our control, taking shape in the world with or without our influence. Do not respond in a knee jerk manner right now. Remember, make your considerations, lean into that Mars and Libra energy, okay? And lean into your consideration before you take action. But know that you cannot put action off inevitably. The guidance has been to make your considerations before now, because indeed it's about to go down. Once we get out of, say, the next 3 weeks after this eclipse, it's going to start feeling like a lot is happening all at once. It's going to start feeling like the pace is up, and it will be up right through till the end of November. If you're not doing the work, if you're not giving yourself the tools, if you're not giving yourself the time that you need to make your reflections, to plan your course of action, so that when things are happening around you, you're not living in response to them, but you are actually well within the grounding of your understanding of your own agency and how you can enact your will on your life, it's not going to be fun for you. It's not. It's not. What you want to do is take heed, take your power into your own hands, and prepare yourself. Uh, when September comes, you're going to want to cleanse ukuqiniswa for the new year ahead. And we will be available for that beginning in the second half of September. Between now and then, we'll be getting ourselves ready and preparing everything required. I will be unavailable for a few weeks. I'm going to be retreating for a while. I always encourage that we do our retreats, that we go away and reflect from time to time. And we do have a retreat coming up this December here at Sangoma Society, if you're interested in participating in that, where we will be bringing in the solstice, Nenzalo Yelanga, then you're welcome to make your inquiry with us on sangomasociety@gmail.com. But before then, I will be going on retreat by myself and observing 10 days of complete silence, 10 hours of meditation daily, and an opportunity to introspect and reflect on the last 10 years of being a Sangoma ahead of the 11th anniversary of my beginning in this journey. I am very much looking forward to being away for a while, and I hope that you will be well while I'm away. I will leave some things in some capable hands, but there will be a bit of a disappearance from the online space as one needs to from time to time. And I'll be seeing you again in September. Until then, ngithemba ukuthi nizawuphila, niphephe, niphumelele emizameni wenu. Until next time, mina nginguMakhosi Nomabutho. This is Sangoma Society, where we demystify the astral and the ancestral. Makhosi. Ew.